All right, I dealt with the ambushers. The ambushers stole your letter that proves you're there to get the package, and you're like, oh my god. So that's how this felt to me, where he's just like, all right, I filed a tracker. That's not the president. I'm the president. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Pointless Discourse with myself, Hoppocalypse, and Itisdpayne.
I forgot all the lines he said. I was going to say a fun thing, but I was like, man, every time he's like, I thought you died. The only line that came in my head, and I don't know what it's from, was the rumors about my death were extremely exaggerated.
Is that Princess Bride?
Is it? Yeah.
It sounds like,
is.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that kept popping in my head. Or the other thing was just like, I thought you were dead. I got better.
That's also, I think, or something similar. Yeah.
I think it's something. Yeah. I don't know. Big old goofy movie. But you want to know what my mind actually thought about of this recording date of October 1st, 2025?
What did it think of on the specific day of October 1st of 2025?
It was nice, crisp, cold. I woke up late to work, and all that was in my head was like, and now I forgot the words. Do the wind like autumn. I want to watch Over the Garden Wall.
Yeah,
I was listening to the soundtrack last week.
I should, yeah, because I think I ordered it on vinyl when I saw that they did the reprint.
Mm-hmm.
And then
that's how I was listening to it.
Yeah, because now thinking on it, I've been wanting to spend more time in like one of the rooms in my house because it's chillier. It's like it gets a lot of natural light. So in the summer, I'm like, bright, hot. I don't want to be in here. But now that it's like cooler mornings, maybe I throw that on and I read a little bit. Not sure how much reading I'll get done when I get to potatoes and molasses, but
yeah, that's one of the guys that I work with. His daughters are really into it. Were like, I think, young when that first came out, and so they were watching it when they were at, I guess, the age that it was pitched for, and not when I watched it as an adult.
It's still good as an adult.
I'm not saying that it's bad, but I'm just saying they watched it there, and he's like, I told him, I was like, oh, you know what season is? And he's like, what? And it's like, potatoes. And he's like, don't start that. But what I was going to say, because like, I want to say this for the opening, is that the frequent listener, she hasn't watched it yet.
Good time to introduce it.
And that's what I was thinking. I was like, hey, one of these days, maybe when it's cold out, we don't really want to leave the house, we can come over to my place, we can make foods and whatever, and we can watch Over the Garden Wall. And I'm like, the nice thing is we can watch the whole thing, and it would be like the equivalent length of a normal movie. Which is really funny because we were going down memory lane and we spent probably close to 11 to 12 hours of recorded time of our lives talking about Over the Garden Wall. And I'm like, this TV show spawned so many conversations.
For being so short. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's... The other thing is, and which I just remembered this, and we didn't really plan, because Hop and I, we were looking at the YouTubes and other stuff, and we were just looking at certain thumbnails that were made. The frequent listener also came up to me, and she was like, you know what I wouldn't mind watching? The Alien movies. And I'm like, really? I have them all.
Yeah, there's a few that are much better than others, but yeah.
That's what I said. But I'm like, if you want to watch them, I got them. She's like, yeah, no, I know you have them. I seen them on your shelf, and so because all she watched was whatever the newest one was, which was okay.
Oh, I liked the newest one. The one with
like,
the kids.
Yeah, it's like I liked it, and then. I say it was okay because I think some people were a little upset with Bishop deepfake, which I didn't even realize was a deepfake until after watching it. But I don't know. It was fun.
After watching a lot of the other Alien franchise, I thought that was a very nice, like, oh, finally.
Yeah. I do miss... I kind of wish there was a David.
No.
Yeah,
That's okay.
I do. No, it's okay for me. I want more David lore. Can you imagine if aliens now that I think about it, my brain just jumped into like 3 different conversations, and now I'm just going to do the one that kind of makes a little bit sense on this topic. I still haven't watched Alien Earth.
Somebody did ask me if I've been watching the television series, and I said no. I don't know if I have an access to the subscription for that, and I think that's okay. That's fine.
Yeah, I was kind of going back and forth. I think if you were planning on watching it, I was like, okay, I'll get like the free one for the month or something and just power through it and then just be like, okay, that's all. But I am interested. I kind of hope it just doesn't... I hope it gets put on other things, but I doubt that. Where's Just Watch? Is it only on Hulu? There we go.
I thought it was an exclusive.
I think so, too. Alien Earth. It's on Fubo, whatever this is called. Oh, it's on FX Now for free, probably with ads. If I click it, it's locked.
Gasp.
Click this. Oh, I need to... Okay, if I had a TV provider.
Everything's just cable again.
Yeah, but worse.
But worse. But we didn't need cable to watch this movie. We got to watch a movie from the 80s, in case you didn't guess from... Well, I guess we didn't really...
The title.
Yeah, from the title. You didn't get a chance to really quote it, but...
Yeah.
We are week 2 into the John Carpenter month for our series of watching through different directors. It does feel weird that we're much closer to the end than the beginning, since...
Yeah.
But we have more movies and prompts and things like that planned for next year. I know we haven't noticed anybody take us up on the offer yet, but we did mention if you leave us comments for prompts, we will do our best to see if we can fit those in. Some of the example prompts that we have. Oh, I've managed to close my entire... I had everything open and I've lost it.
I can get it. Right. Oh, that's my budget sheet. Glad that's not on... I'm glad I'm not screen recording. Because I recently just asked my Discord about this, and of course now I found the bookish episodes, but that's not what we want.
Yeah, so I just brought it all back up. So an example of prompts that we've come up with, these are not fully set in stone, and what's going to happen is we'll spin a wheel, we'll each watch a movie that we think fits the prompt for us, and then come back and chat about it together. So Itisdpayne wrote down like a suggestion from a significant other. Him and I collaborated on a different one, which is the highest grossing movie from the year you were born.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Other ones we have are like genre things, genre related, or using websites to recommend movies for us. Like I think I found a link for Pick a Movie for Me.
Mm-hmm. I like this one. A movie that you own that you haven't watched. And embarrassingly for me, that's a lot.
I know during the times when I thought FYE was going to close down forever, I kept buying like $3 DVDs. I might have some DVD sets from some other places that were like 4 movies in like one package. I know what I definitely own that I haven't watched that I've been meaning to is the movie version of It with Tim Curry in it. I know I own that one.
My only memory of that movie is watching it with a bunch of friends, and they watched it at an age when you were scared. I watched it when I'm used to horror movies, and it just wasn't working for me. And everyone's like, "Oh my gosh!" More I feel like off of the memories of being scared, And I'm sitting there and I'm like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever watched. This scared you. And then we stopped watching it.
Oop. But yeah, so if you have any other suggestions about what you think would be fun prompts for us to try and go out and find movies for, let us know. We are looking to have a prompt for every week so that we come prepared to spin a wheel and go through the entire list. I think the one I'm most excited for, I did like us working together to do the highest grossing movie from the year we were born.
Mm-hmm.
I think the one I'm most excited for is the trying to find a movie with a non-human main character, because I even realized in everything we've been watching, I think they've all been human leads of the movies. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'm making an excuse to rewatch Homeward Bound.
Or Air Bud. I
never actually watched an Air Bud movie.
They're movies.
I saw a funny clip of, unsurprisingly, people on a podcast, and they were like, the Air Bud movies make him mad, and his buddies were like, why does it make you mad? He was like, imagine being a parent in that universe.
Yes.
You teach your kid the rules of basketball, and a dog comes in. There's no justice left in this world. Nothing makes sense. Nothing matters. All the rules are broken.
I did see that.
So that was funny.
I'll say that I think the ones there's I think there's like 2 or 3 that I'm really excited for. The one that I think I'm really interested in is, if you guys haven't if this is your first episode, things for Hop and I both have mentioned is that we don't really want to watch war movies. However, I am interested to watch a war movie that doesn't show war, because I have 2.
We've actually, and we've watched a few.
Yeah. There's one that I just saw, and I might just see if I can pick it up. I think it's called The Messengers. And I saw a clip of it, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be a tough watch. And it's pretty much, I think the whole gist of the movie is the military, people in the military going to families to tell them that their sons, husbands, wives, daughters were lost in battle. And it's like all the different reactions, and it's just like, oh, that's gonna be a tough one to watch, but I want to watch it.
You want to save it for that prompt, or a movie that makes you cry?
It might just be something I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna put it on. Because I know there's another movie I just wanted to, like, just how you wanted an excuse to watch Homeward Bound, I just wanted an excuse to watch The Imitation Game again, which is why I put that movie.
Not war movie. Yeah,
that
makes sense. But in any case, before we get totally sidetracked,
everything, I'm gonna click off this because I was gonna say the other one.
Yeah, only because I realized we've been yapping for a little bit.
That's our whole thing. We yap.
We do yap. But yes,
I lost my D12.
While you find your D12. So yeah, we watched Escape from New York for this week, for our week 2 with John Carpenter. A very interesting shift from the horror thriller to dystopian action. But soundtrack was still good. I could hear some hints. I was like, oh, he really likes these instruments when there are certain scenes. So that was really fun. But yeah, so in us talking about these movies, if it's your first time here, what we'll end up doing is rolling some dice. We have 12-sided dice, like Itisdpayne mentioned. He needed to find his. And whoever rolls highest gives a short summary of the movie. No spoilers. We answer some questions to start discussion about the movie. Again, no spoilers. And then we'll head into spoiler town, but you'll be plenty warned before we get there.
With all spoilers.
With all spoilers.
Spoilers all the way down.
Yes.
I roll.
I rolled 2. You got big eyes.
Oh, hold on, I'm making sure I can read it right. Yep. What you got?
A 2.
I got a 20.
Wait a second.
Of the D12, I got a natural 12.
Wow. Look, it was me all in a row. Now it's gonna be you all in a row.
Yeah, because I found the stinky cheese die, and now that I called it out, this will be the last time I talk. All right. So, the whole gist of this movie, Manhattan now is prison island. And everyone gets thrown in there if they do bad. Anyway, somehow they take over Air Force One. And by they, it's just some random terrorist organization that is never mentioned ever again. They take it over and they're like, "We'll show you, Mr. President," and crash him into the middle of Manhattan, or near the border of Manhattan, pretty much. And they're like, "We got to go get him." And all the criminals like, "No." And they're like, "Okay, we'll play your game." Fortunately, they had an ex-black op turned bank robber that's like, "Hey, thought you were dead. Go get the president." No. "Hey, we put bombs in your neck." Okay. And from that point on, it is his adventure to go and save the president so his head doesn't explode like it's in Scanners. Will he do it? Or will the Duke get him? Find this all out more in the next episode of Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much the whole movie. Insert random action scenes in between.
Yeah.
So I do ask, if this was the only movie you watched by the director, would you watch the rest of their catalog?
Yeah, I think I would. It was like, as we were kind of mentioning earlier, it's like, is it the best movie? Not really. But is it a fun movie? Yeah, I think it's fun. I think you said this last week. It is really nice to be able to watch movie and shut off brain and not worry about like my sanity score going down in real life.
As I see your Call of Cthulhu role-playing books behind you.
Stop it. Somewhere back there. Yeah, it is a nice break from September. September was fun in its own way. But I'm like, okay, it's a little bit nice to get back to action jock movie.
Yeah, like I think for me this is like a maybe, like right in the middle, where I think I mentioned this to you before recording, but I think this is one of those movies where I wouldn't ask you to put it on, but if I was like in a group of people and it was put on, I'd probably occasionally be like, "Oh, hold on, I like this part," and then go back to what I was doing.
This is a good party background movie. You literally don't need to know what's happening. Yeah. Like, you don't. It's just, oh, he's fighting a large hairy man now.
Yeah. So then, how much did you root for the characters? Feel free to pick and choose. We have a lot of side characters. You have a handful of side plots.
I wanted Solid Snake. I mean, Snake Plissken to do well. I don't know. Honestly, he was so boring.
Yeah, his role in the movie is not to be the main guy. His role in the movie is to make everybody else look bad at what they do.
Yeah, I think the thing I like most about Snake is that he is like, I really don't want to be here. Like, could you just throw me in and leave me? Now there's bombs in my neck. Fine.
Stop calling me on the radio.
Yeah. And then, the other thing that cracked me up was Girl in Diner, I think was how she was
in the credits,
credited.
Yeah.
And she's just like, "Hey, you can get me out. Want a cigarette?" And they're like, "Oh, they're gonna kiss?" No, they're gonna get eaten by the floor. It's like, oh, okay, that was fast. But yeah, I don't really think there was any specific person. Maybe the cabbie. Like,
he was very fun.
Yeah.
He's been driving the same taxi around these parts for 30 years.
Mm-hmm. Because, like, I don't know. I didn't really care for Brain. I feel like the Duke is never really... It feels like a lot of these characters, I feel like, are just caricatures of like, a bigger thing. Like, it's like, here's your stereotypical villain. Here's your stereotypical just suck up brown noser. Here's your stereotypical nice guy who's just, why is he even in prison world? And it's just, I feel like just we don't get a lot of like background and stuff into the movie, because it's just like, hey, should we care about the president? He's literally the reason this thing exists. So, which I think is said in like the opening text. It's like, he did this. I don't know. How about you? I can't think of really anyone off the top of my head except for Cavi, because he was a sweet dude.
Yeah, Cabby was a sweet dude. Snake had, like, just enough, like, of that, like, dude energy where you're like, I know you're going to be able to pull it off. But it was kind of funny. Like, I kind of said this to Strider while we were watching it. It almost feels like in D&D where you're like, all right, I just have to drop off the package. And it's like, you get to the path and the bridge you were supposed to take to the package has been destroyed. All right, I'll take the long way. As you take the long way, you're ambushed. All right, I dealt with the ambushers. The ambushers stole your letter that proves you're there to get the package, and you're like, oh my god. So that's how this felt to me, where he's just like, all right, I found the tracker. That's not the president. I'm the president. And I just, so it was, like, interesting enough for me to, like, all right, let me take that back. It's paced very well for what it is. Like, even though it's an action movie, I think it's paced in a way that I'm like, well, how's he going to get out of this pickle? Then I would say I was hopeful that I forget their name, but the person that was, like, paired with the brain, I was hoping she would have a redemption arc.
Is that Maggie?
I think Maggie. She kept having moments when she was, like, a cool character. And then the way she died, I was like, all of that for that? Because, like,
Maggie.
Okay, yeah, because she's, like, good with a gun. She was, like, just as smart as Brain. She had all these things to her, and they just did what they did.
That when we get to Spoiler Town, I got some thoughts about this. The end of this movie.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd say, like, those are who I mainly rooted for.
It makes me wonder if the sequel, Escape from LA, if it's, I don't know. I'm like curious to watch that movie now after watching the first one and be like, what's different? Like did they make, like, okay, we have Prison Island East, now we need Prison Island West? Oh, did we just move?
No, you clicked on the raise hand on Zoom somehow.
That's weird because my mouse wasn't even on.
There.
Well, I'm gonna be in your spot for a little bit. That's
Hi,
weird
everybody.
because my mouse wasn't even over there.
Zoom just really wanted to confuse you.
I saw it out of the corner of my eye. I'm like, what just happened?
Yeah, I asked Strider if he likes Escape from LA, and he was like, not nearly as much as New York. So if you're willing to watch it, you can give me the summary, because I'm probably not going to watch it.
It's the same, but west.
So then, what grade would you give the plot?
I don't know, C+. Somewhere around there.
Yeah, I think that's where I land too, because it's exactly what it says on the back of the movie. This is an escape, or, well, in the title, this is an escape from New York. And, yeah, they do that. It's not, like, yeah, the writing's not extravagant, but I think the thing that it does do very well is it's paced really well to keep your attention.
And I want to find the...
like the tagline for it?
Yeah, on the poster, right? Because I can't really zoom in close enough to see it on the... Oh, there it is. Will this...
The tagline...
There it is. Yeah,
go ahead.
It's a 1997. New York City is a walled maximum security prison. Breaking out is impossible. Breaking in is insane. Also, I know it's like they're shooting guns, but the poster art kind of looks like they have lightsabers.
That's funny. I see on IMDb one of the taglines is, "The world's greatest leader is a hostage in the most dangerous place on earth. Now only the deadliest man alive can save him."
He doesn't seem all that deadly, but...
Not particularly. But it does, like, it is as it's written. That is what the movie's all about.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's just what you need.
Yeah. So then, how likely would you recommend this movie to others?
I think if you haven't seen it, I think it is worth watching. But I also think it's one of those movies, as we said earlier. It's like, hey, we're having like a get together party thing. Like, there's gonna be food. We're gonna chat. We're just background ambiance. Or like, just if it's like I don't know, some sort of like get together. I think this is an easy group movie where it's just like you don't really have to pay attention to what's going on. I will say though, in the beginning there is like a lot of very long quiet scenes, so it's just like maybe once
he's actually on the ground.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is like I think like takes like 25 minutes for that to happen. I don't know. It feels like it's a while. Anyway, how about you?
Yeah, I think this is an easy one to just be like, oh, you just want something to watch real quick. And it was funny. I asked Shredder. I was like, do you think this is a required movie to watch if you're a fan of the games like Metal Gear and things like that? And I know like you kind of mentioned you definitely saw a lot of the inspiration. Mm-hmm. But Shredder was like, I don't think so. I think you should just watch it once to be like, yeah, that's a movie.
Yeah, like you get the inspiration. It's not like I feel like if people played the game Deadly Premonition, then it's like, yes, you should watch Twin Peaks because it's literally that. Mm-hmm. But oopsie. But yeah, it's a fun time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there any
Again,
other
this
questions?
movie.
I forgot.
No, that's the last
Okay.
one because it is a very like it's a much more straightforward movie than a lot of what we've been watching recently.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just wondering if I forget what we're watching next week. I know I own it, but
Yeah. Well, then I'll let them know now before we head to Spoiler Town.
oh yeah, it is that time. What are we watching? I just remembered. But go ahead. What is it?
Yeah, if you want to turn back now so that you can watch Escape from New York before we get into our discussions, then we will be heading into Spoiler Town soon, so make sure to like pause. But right before you do that, I'll just let you know next week we're watching They Live by John Carpenter. This is one of the few DVDs I tried to look in my library's catalog, and they're like, nope, don't have it. But I think I can find a place to watch it online. I've watched this movie once already, and I can't wait to talk to you about how manly of a scene there is in the middle of this movie for absolutely no reason.
Oh my goodness, They Live is on everything.
I know, I was scrolling through, and I was like, I'm sure I could find it somewhere. It's just, do I want to pay for it?
Yeah. I'm just like, it's on Amazon.
Fandango.
It's in the Barnes and Nobles.
Yeah, buy a full price DVD.
And actually, I was like, that's what I did. And I was like, no, I didn't. I bought it on sale. In fact, I know where it should be. Unless I accidentally gave it to the library. Let's find out.
For anybody who's listening via audio, Dpayne has gotten up and walked away. So it'll just be me and his chair hanging out, talking about movies. But Spoiler Town we won't enter until he's back and has the timer set up.
I'm back. And here it is. Still wrapped.
Blu-ray!
Yeah. That's a bald man on that cover. Alright. My chair, I'm glad it didn't do anything to get us canceled. As I bring up the timer. Somewhere on here. There we go. Ooh, that's too far. Alright. Time to go to Spoiler Town. Hold on. Oh, man. Do you ever watch Kids Next Door?
Yeah.
I went to go say, I was like, hey, everyone, hold on. And I was like, the first thing, what my brain finished, it was like, hold on to your underwear. But yes, heading off to Spoiler Town in 3, 2, 1. Doot, doot. We are at Spoiler Town. I don't really know how the train works. If it's just like an instant transmission or we're heading to Spoiler Town. We never really came up with a lore for Spoiler Town or the train is.
It's definitely a bullet train. It's silent, but we immediately go from point A to B.
Okay, so it's just like an instant transmission, or is it like we head through a tunnel and it's like Willy Wonka creepy tunnel of death?
Oh goodness!
And then we're like, we're in Spoiler Town. Is it purgatory? That's for you to find out. I forgot everything I was gonna say. I will say okay. I guess starting off with the opening, I think I do. I'm a sucker for that like art, like the little neon little lights and the I guess it's vector art, like of just like here's the island. There's all this stuff, and I'm like, this is fun. Yeah, just a boop, 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 and
I also like their idea of what it would look like to like scan areas, and they have the green buildings with the like curvy lines. It's just so 80s.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. I was just looking at it. I was like, oh man, I'm digging the vibe, and this is just fun. I've just like seen everything. I just thought it was funny how the escape pod for Air Force One is just a big giant orange egg.
Oh yeah, it looked like it didn't look like an Easter egg to me. It looked like one of those like the top of a Tootsie Pop. Because it was just so round.
Yeah, and then I don't know. I just thought the other thing that cracked me up was like, okay, this thing is supposed to keep the president safe and like literally from the situation we're having, and it feels like that thing just gets popped open, no problem.
Yeah, there's no like security lock on it to make sure that someone can't break into it or whatever. But we don't really know, the in between. Yeah. But it's just, I really like the environment more than anything else. I was like watching him walk through all these different streets and like leading up to like finding where the president is and all that. Also the negotiations of being like him just standing there, 20, 19. All right, guys, we got to leave. He's going to kill the president. 18, 17. All right, guys, come on, back it up. But I was saying to myself, I was like, man, it must have been fun being a set designer back when movies were set up like this. Because I feel like every time I see behind the scenes for a lot of modern movies, it's all green screen and people like wired up. And I'm like, it makes sense for what you're trying to do as a director, but also the behind the scenes aren't very fun if it's all just green.
Yeah. Or it's like people in funny suits because it's like we're gonna like it is impressive. Yeah, it is impressive what they're able to do, but at the same time, it's just like I feel like there's something lost in modern films that like where with these films it feels like even though Snake is just running around whatever, but it's like okay, it feels realistic. And then I don't know, just like his attire and what he's doing and all that stuff. In no matter what people think of Marvel movies, it's just like I remember seeing a behind the scenes shot where it was just like they have a blue jumpsuit, like skin like tight jumpsuit, and it just has like all the little blocks so that way later they can digitally render on the whatevers. And I'm like, you guys have this much money, you couldn't just like make the suit?
Yeah, like for me, I thought that was cool when it came to seeing behind the scenes for things like Lord of the Rings, right? Because you have a full actor who's like crouched and like moving in weird ways, and they just had to digitally like change his face and like, essentially, because it's a non-human character. But to have people running around and like, I don't know, I saw one behind the scenes where it was supposed to be like people flying in the movies, and it was just like a bunch of green blocks so that he could stand tippy-toed and like have them harnessed up. And I was just like, at this point, I'd rather watch the animators like behind the scenes and like their process rather than the actor just kind of standing there. Yeah, so I think
also less digital blood, more blood packs.
The blood packs in this were so funny. But yeah, I just thought it was just, I don't know, it's also charming in that way, watching it from the lens of, modern movie making to this, where some of the stuff you could tell for sure was due to restrictions in like tech or like budget, but it was still just, I can buy it. I can totally believe there's a bunch of mines in this place that just so happen to go off after you've ran past them and only cause sparks. But I'm willing to like believe in the vision.
Yeah, that whole scene, I was sitting there Because, like, even in the beginning, they're like, and the bridges are mined. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, if they're trying to keep everyone in, why do they sell the bridges? Why didn't they just take down the bridges?
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay. So this must be, like, very seriously covered and all that. And then they're just driving on there just perfectly fine for, like, the longest time. I'm sitting there, I'm like, I thought this was supposed to be, like, and, like, as soon as I said, like, I thought this was, like, mined and scary, is, like, when the cab blows up in half, only killing one person.
Our favorite little guy.
The cabbie.
I just
Justice
thought
for
it.
cabbie.
I also thought it was funny when Brain is like, I'm the only one with a diagram, and he's yelling at everybody, "You're running wrong," but everybody else is right, and only he's wrong. And then they're just like, "All right, we're gonna keep running." And I was like, "But they didn't take the diagram from him. They're just like, I'm gonna outrun the mines?" Question mark.
Yeah. No, that was the last one.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't realize. Yeah, but then, yeah, like I was saying, okay, this is like the ending of the movie, so we don't have to jump immediately into that. What was your favorite group for him to encounter? You have the early, like, theater troupe, you have the basement dwellers, you have the crawling out of the sewers, maybe cannibals.
Well, they're called the crazies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have there's the group of people throwing bricks at them, going down, I think it was Broadway.
Yeah.
And then you have the Duke and his many.
The Duke's dudes.
The Duke's dudes.
I guess the thing I thought was the most interesting and threatening out of all of them were the crazies. Because it's just like they're literally ripping up flooring.
Yeah. Strider joked he was like a better zombie movie than most modern zombie movies.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't know. It felt like... And that whole action sequence was hilarious. Where it's just like... He's like, I gotta run away. And just like runs up a building. And then goes in. And he's just like, what I gotta do? Oh, I know what to do. Shoots a circle in the wall so he can jump through the wall. So he can go into another apartment just to climb up a different fire escape. To jump down yeah, it was just like all this. And like the crazies were like there, but at the same time they weren't. And then they just like go over a wall. No, that's right, the cabbie comes and picks them up
and
throws
Molotovs
the Molotovs. He's just like, later, losers. So I think I thought the crazies, that part was fun. I don't know. I just felt like with the Duke's group, it's just like, I don't know. After that, that's the main group I think we're dealing with, except for the Broadway boys. But it's like, I don't know. It just felt like they didn't have like enough depth. Even like the only two people like we really know of them. I don't know.
That's fair, yeah, because they almost give, like, you just should understand that they're evil and that they're smart, and that's why they're in charge, but they didn't really do anything that felt very smart. They just liked torturing people, as far as I could tell. And I think, I don't know, I thought it was really funny, like, the fighting sequences he had with the people for the Duke's group, because... Yeah. They were somehow so bad for being so in charge. Like, when he first gets onto the train, and the guy's just like, what are you staring at? And he turns around, and he's already, like, getting handled. And then, of course, occasionally Strider and I were like, is Snake limping on the wrong leg after he got shot with the arrow? But...
I don't know, at the end of the movie, he completely forgets to limp as he runs away.
I know. So. And then... I also thought the fight scene in the wrestling thing, like you said, the big hairy guy, I thought that was really funny, not because I thought the fight was exciting, but because he kept giving off that energy of, fine, I'll take the bat, fine, I'll take your nail bat, and then, like, he wins the fight, and everybody just stands there and goes, Snake? 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 Snake! 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 And the Duke is just like, I didn't expect this outcome.
This was not in. Did you not read the script?
And I couldn't stop laughing during those scenes though, because the tattoo placement for Snake, I was like, wait, where does the tattoo end? And Stuart and I were like, why isn't it on his chest or his arm or his back? Like, why is it right there?
Yeah, I was like, is that why he's called Snake?
I did like the quote towards the end where the guy's like, you and me, Snake, we could make a great team. He's like, don't call me Snake.
Yeah. It's like, make up your mind. You know what he is? He is a teenager. Where it's just like, don't call me.
He's the edgelord rogue in every D&D party.
Yeah. He's also a grumpy cat.
Yeah, he doesn't say more than 4 things at a time. Like, I pulled up the quotes and the ending where he's like, are you going to kill me now? And he's like, not now. I'm too tired. Yeah.
I almost sent you that gif today where it was going to be like, this is going to be us when we talk too much and after we have to still record.
Oh, this other line. You mentioned the girl before she gets sucked into the floors. She's like, you're a cop. And he goes, no, I'm an asshole. Like, if it's not a comedy, it is a comedy. Yeah. We go from David Lynch, where the dialogue is people not talking to each other, and we're like, is it supposed to mean something that no one understands each other? To go to this, where I'm like, that's not how people talk, but it's really funny that he's trying to sound cool.
Yeah, I'm just like looking through there. There were some silly lines. What was it? Yeah, Pliskin, what are you doing? Playing with myself. I'm going in. It's like, cool
that guy. Is a crazy like opening line for him, because it feels like the kind of energy that like, I'll hear people go like, hey, what are you doing right now? It's like, what do you think I'm doing? I'm flying away. I'm just doing what you told me to do. It has that same energy to it. And I just, I don't know. There's something like, I don't know, like, I feel like charm is still not the right word, but it is like a movie that I'm like, this feels comfortable to watch. Mm-hmm. Like, he's just a little sassy, everybody else is panicking, and he's just like, ugh, and like rolling his eyes constantly. Like,
gosh, I can't believe we're gonna do this.
Like, every time Brain is like, you don't understand, everything's gonna go wrong, and Snake's just like, stop talking. Oh yeah, and then they have their whole interaction of, I remember you abandoning me. He's like, well, don't call me Harold. I'm the Brain now.
There's the other line that I thought was funny. They send in their best man, and when we roll across the 69th Street Bridge tomorrow on our way to freedom, we're gonna have their best man leading the way from the neck off. And then to cheer, and he's like, on the hood of my car.
Yeah, just like, trying to add more things.
I hope when that line read went up, like he did that, and then he was like, oh wait, there's another part to this line. But yeah, it has some fun moments for sure. How about you? What was your favorite, or was the Dukes group your favorite group?
It's not that the Dukes group was impressive to me. I just think the scenes were a lot funnier with the Dukes group. Yeah. Like the group, the Crazies, like you said, like they actually do feel intimidating in terms of like the sheer numbers of them. And then, like, nothing, like, they do move, like, fast-moving zombies instead of, like, calculated people. Because everyone that works for the Duke has to be like, well, the Duke told me this, the Duke told me that. I'm not allowed to do anything unless the Duke told me to. Whereas you have other people that are just, like, starving because they're given food. I think she says they run out of food at the end of every month. And then they go off and try and find something.
Yeah, I think... There's a small detail in here now that I'm remembering that I really did like, where they're just like, Sneak, talking about funny, it was just like, everyone that sees Snake, I thought you were dead. And he's like, no, where's the president? But
Yeah, this other one is Brain. I swear to God, Snake, I thought you were dead. And Snake says, yeah, you and everybody else. Because, like you said, every time he sees someone new, he goes, I heard you died. He's like, mm-hmm.
yeah. And the thing is, like, I know they, like, he did this, and it's just like, I have no context except everyone knows him because he did this cool thing. And then he robbed a bank or something like that.
The Federal Reserve, to be specific.
Yeah. So, yeah, so anyway, that was all going on, and then, and of course my brain forgot what, let's see, what was I thinking of? There was, everyone said he was dead, brain, I don't know, I forgot where I was going.
That's okay. Like I was saying before, I'm upset that Maggie didn't end up having a bigger part than she did. I thought she was a cool character.
Yeah. It felt like she was. It felt like she was actual Brain.
Yeah, and then she goes, I loved the man, and decides to just let herself get hit by a car. I was like, oh. And then she did have a lot of blood packs. So like you said, blood packs are fun. But I was just like, not only did she not shoot the Duke, she shot a revolver when the car, you could barely see the headlights through the car. I was like, of course you're going to miss. He's so far away.
To be fair, every time we see her with a gun, she just headshots pretty, like she kills
everybody else. Yeah.
Like there's that whole scene when they're getting the president, and then it's like, Brain, I don't think you're supposed to be here, and he's like, haha, reverse knife, and then it's like, she's like, oh, okay, bam, 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 and just kills everybody. It's just like, oh, okay.
Yeah. And then, but I do wish she had a little bit more thing, because I said to Strider, I think it's interesting in the 80s, one, that everybody thought Sigourney Weaver was cool. So I was like, did they cast her because she kind of looks like Sigourney Weaver in the first Alien movie? Because the way that her hair is styled.
When you said it, was like, that wasn't, did I not recognize?
No, it's a different actress.
Yeah, it was, well, when you said it, I'm like, I don't think that's who's, like, did I misread?
And then I said, I also think it's interesting in the 80s that they made really strong female characters, but decided they still had to be tied to a man. Like, Maggie was a really cool character, and then as soon as Brain dies, she goes, well, I can't live anymore. It's like, really? Okay. I didn't even know you liked him that much. I wasn't convinced.
Yeah, you just were, it just felt like you guys were there.
Yeah. And then, but yeah, and then that leads to the whole ending. Like you said, clearly they ran over the last mine. It was not, or Brain specifically hit the last mine for them to save him for the day. Mm-hmm. But I did think it was really funny of the president to stop the line so that he could mock the Duke, where he like stopped Snake from being pulled up, and Snake's like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. I have 2 minutes. My brain's gonna explode. Please let me up. And the president's just like, A number one, the Duke.
I was kind of expecting him to get shot again after that, but yeah, I don't know. And I felt like the ending, I'm just sitting there just like, okay, and he's like, give us the tape here, and then undoes the thing, and which, okay, quick pause here. Mm-hmm. They said the neck bombs were going to explode in 24 hours. Mm-hmm. But they're like, when they gave him the watch, they're like, no, you need to be back by this amount of time. So he was rushing and all that stuff to get the neck bombs out of his body or neutralized. He still had like an hour and a half.
Well, they had the countdown, or for whatever reason be that, and he was just going off of that time. So I know why.
I know why.
I think
but
we're
I'm just
supposed to assume that by the time he had everything set up, like he was on the plane thingy, he went through all the procedures, the 24 hours turned into 22, because he sat there and he was like negotiating for a while. So I think they were just like padding for the time for that. Yeah. But I thought I did like the ending where he tries to give the president a chance, where he's like, how do you feel about everybody that died for you today? And he's just like, whatever. And he's like, all right.
Hey. That's, yeah, and then it's like, and then Cabby's music came over, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, yeah, no, that was like the biggest tell. Like I knew what was gonna happen, and like that whole thing's like, here's your final test. But I'm like, in all this planning, all this stuff, no one thought like, should we just check this tape? Like,
Should we
just take
play
2
before the live
seconds.
broadcast?
Yeah, I don't
Because it
know.
didn't look different. It didn't look different than
Yeah.
any other tapes.
Mm-hmm. And then the great luck that they even found it because Cavi's like, oh yeah, no, I traded my hat for it,
Oh
or
yeah,
whatever.
there are a lot of conveniences in the plot. Again, we both gave it like a C plus because
Mm-hmm.
it's not mind blowing, but it is consistent within itself. It is in the style of this movie.
Yeah. So I did look it up. I clicked on the Snake Plissken uh, Wikipedia. I almost said Snakepedia. Wikipedia article. And so apparently his full name is S.D. Bob Snake Plissken. I don't know what the S.D. stands for, but um, yeah. So apparently he was a lieutenant who served in the Black Blight unit, which I do remember that was mentioned, but it doesn't really say anything about it. Which
Okay.
is still Black Blight is a metal as all get out name. He was deployed to the Soviet Union as part of World War III between the Sino-Soviet alliance and the United States, and then where his actions in Leningrad and Siberia resulted in being awarded with 2 Purple Hearts, and it's just like that means he got shot.
Yeah,
It's
they
like,
mentioned the Purple Hearts.
I remember the
Thing.
Purple Hearts.
Yeah.
And then he was the youngest serviceman to be decorated by the President of the United States for bravery. And then when he was discharged, he turned to crime because he believed that he was betrayed by the government during Leningrad, which I don't remember them mentioning any of this part, which apparently during that's where he lost his left eye and his parents died at the hands of the police due to a failed. I wonder if this is in L.A.
Maybe, yeah, because I don't. I know they. I think they only stopped at the Purple Hearts.
Yeah, and they said like he turned to crime or whatever it was. Um, but so anyway, all that was going on, and then the last sentence is Plissken has a tattoo of a cobra on his abdomen. He is skilled
Yeah.
in martial arts due to his military training.
Sure.
So, oh, and here's this. It's like a 3-sentence personality. But anyway, all that was going on. But there's a couple different things. Like so, they have appearances, but I think it's in an order, which is Escape from New York, which we just watched. There's a Marvel Comics that came out in 1997 called. It's just a one shot of the adventure of Snake Plissken, which takes place between New York and before his Cleveland escape mentioned in So he did something else in Cleveland that was mentioned in Escape from L.A. And then it looks like there's a 4-part miniseries that takes place the morning after Escape from New York. And then Escape from LA is the last thing. But sorry, I just laughed at canceled projects that apparently he was supposed to be part of. First one makes sense. In July 2000, there was supposed to be a television series to adapt Escape from New York into a television series. Which, hey, I think that would
You'd
be
have more
decent,
time. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be a decent translation. However, it was canceled in September 2001.
Oh,
Makes sense. Then they had a Chronicles project, which I guess this was a video game, and then an anime. It looks like it was a bunch of random stuff. But then this is what really made me laugh. In the 2000s, there was a proposed second sequel, often mentioned by Carpenter and Russell in the interviews prior to the release of Escape from L.A. The concept was that Earth was the only place left for Plissken to escape. After Escape from LA failed to attract much business, the project never materialized.
Couldn't go bigger.
Yeah, so Escape from Earth, and then it was rumored in 1996 that the script to Ghost of Mars originally started off as a potential Snake Plissken sequel entitled Escape from Mars.
That's funny.
I don't know what Ghost of Mars is, but I'm like, oh my goodness. It sounds like Escape from LA didn't generate enough interest, but
To keep going bigger, yeah.
Yeah. But I think I would love to see Escape from Earth and Escape from Mars.
Yeah, they would definitely need much bigger budgets for those, but they would be very fun to watch.
Can you imagine if it got like the Halloween treatment where it's like it just keeps going? It's like Escape. It would be like Escape from Hell, Escape from Heaven,
Escape from escaping.
Yeah.
Because you have like all the like versus things. Is there any other movie character famous for escaping? Have them compete to see who can escape better. Because you've got like, was it Jason versus Freddy?
Yeah. Let's see. What would it would
I don't know
take?
who an equivalent. Or it's Liam Neeson trying to capture.
Oh, that's full circle.
As Snake Plissken is trying to escape.
In the Arctic Circle, as the aliens are coming or whatever.
That's a couple weeks from now. It's not.
Shh, spoilers.
But I did see this one bit of trivia that I thought was funny. It says the model of the city set was repainted and reused for Blade Runner 1982.
Oh.
I can see it in some of the shapes.
I can see that, yeah. And it's dark.
And where's this other thing? Oh, it says Kurt Russell kept all of his costumes from Escape from New York and was pleased 17 years later when Escape from LA was being made and that he still fit in them. But ultimately they went with a different costume design. So it is interesting they decided to wait like a teenager's lifespan before doing the sequel. When they had so many projects.
I didn't realize it was that long.
Yeah, it says it released in 1996. So I'm assuming Escape from New York probably started filming in like 79.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think if Escape from New York got a reboot, I think I would. I think it depends on what kind of reboot it would be. Like if it's just like a gritty reboot, I'm like I don't know if I'm really into that. But I'm just like, I think it would have to be one of those. Like I don't know. I think it would be a fine line between the two where it had to be where it had to keep the camp.
Yeah.
Or just do like what Evil Dead did and just be like, it's serious but also horrors. That reminds me, I saw a clip or a video. It was just like, hey, do you guys know why in the first like 2-3 minutes they had to pretty much like reshoot Evil Dead 1 for Evil Dead 2? It's because when Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell did Evil Dead 1, when they signed the papers, they didn't get to keep the rights to their own movie, so they had to redo it. And you figure they would learn their lesson. No, because when they went to do the third one, they could only reference like the first movie and couldn't reference the second movie or something like that. And they're like, oh man. And so then it's like, you thought they would learn their lesson a third time, but no, apparently in Ash versus the Dead or Evil Dead, whatever the TV show was, they had the rights to the first and second movie, but didn't have any rights to the third movie.
Oh my goodness.
And so until they got into the second season, the time's up. Please shut up. Thank you. Until the second season when they had the rights for it, and he's like, oh yeah, I had a weird dream that I was back in time. That's like how they just do it. I'm like, oh my goodness. Army of Darkness. That was my introduction to the whole series. But anyway, as everyone's heard, the time's up. I don't know. Is there any closing thoughts or anything else that you like to mention?
No, I think yeah, like this is just a fun movie. I know some episodes we talk closer to like an hour and a half or things like that, but it's just a very straightforward movie. Silly, fun action, silly, fun characters. Not a lot to dive into. Like other if we wanted to get into more trivia, but it seems less like fun trivia and more like this is the highest budget movie Carpenter had worked on up to this point. I'm like, I could have guessed.
You know what? Now thinking about it, I think the gritty reboot is Metal Gear Solid 2. It's pretty much that. Yeah, it's funny seeing Japanese video game developers be like, I like this project. I'm going to steal it and make it my own, knowing how strict copyright law is in Japan.
Oh, speaking of, you were like, oh, there's some other stuff that happened with, like, the bank that they didn't show. Apparently the film originally in the opening had Snake Plissken and a buddy robbing the Federal Reserve.
Oh.
And then the buddy is shot by the police. And the test audiences were like, that was a long and confusing scene. So now it's only a deleted scene on the DVD.
I have the extra whatevers. Could have watched it. I don't know. I think
it says the person that played his buddy is still credited in the in the credits, even though he's not in the final cut.
people should stop doing test audiences. Just do it. You know what I find crazy? I found out that it's talking about long times between a sequel coming out. I think it's The Strangers. I think that's what it's called. That's getting a second installment. Is that what it's called?
Which one's that movie?
Let me make sure I have the right title. Yeah, The Strangers. It's pretty much... The first movie came out in 2008. And it's like this couple, they go up to... whatever it is, this mountain house. And it's really funny reading the description because it's like an isolated vacation home to enjoy some time together. Except that's not the case. The dude asked to marry her and she said no. And he's like, pretty much calls his buddy like, I don't want to be here anymore. Can you just come pick me up? I'll leave her the car. But so anyway, they go up and do that. And then these like serial killers are kind of just out there. And I think it's based off of like a real 911 call. But I remember I thought it was a pretty interesting movie, but I don't know how this... I didn't really even know they were making a second one until like recently. That is...
So that's also a 17-year gap then, right? If it was 2008 and then now.
Yeah, and I think according to some reviews, it is maybe getting the same response.
Oop.
But I don't know. I really enjoyed the first one. I don't know if I'll go see the second one. Well, not in the theaters, but
eventually.
Yeah. But anyway, next week we're watching this one.
They
boom,
Live.
Boom, boom, boom.
As Dpayne holds up the Blu-ray edition for anyone listening on audio.
I see spoilers on the back.
Gasp.
I already knew that, though.
But yeah, thanks everyone.
I read this as They Live.
That's all. That's your streamer brain. They live. They stream.
Live. Anyway, my brain's like, me hungies now. So
yes, thank you everyone if you've made it this far in the episode. We always appreciate it. We would also appreciate it if you leave any comments for suggestions for movie prompts. Put likes, leave reviews, things of all that nature. Always appreciated. And when we do find them, we always like to shout them out. But yeah, fun movie. Escape from New York. John Carpenter is good at making music and good scores. I realized I didn't really bring that back.
Yeah, I was sticking to music. I was like, oh man, this is pretty good.
There were some times I was like, is this going to turn into West Side Story? Because it was very like snappy, and it was in New York.
Yeah, I kind of want to get like a vinyl of like just John Carpenter music. I don't know if that exists, but that'd be fun.
Would be good.
Oh, my chair is turning.
Oh, I guess that's time to say bye-bye to everybody.
Goodbye, everybody. See you next time.